my favorite topics to teach is animal science. I grew up on a small dairy farm, and I really enjoyed the cows a lot. I also showed some beef cattle while I was in high school, and I knew that I wanted to do something in animal agriculture when I got out of school. But I was pretty sure I didn't want to be an animal science major because I thought if I was an ag business major, I would have a lot more job opportunities. So I went to Ohio State, majored in ag business, also picked up an ag education degree so I could teach if that time ever came. And when I got out of college, I worked for Purina Mills as a district manager for 5 years, selling feed. I covered about 22 counties in West Virginia and 18 in Ohio, and that job consisted of working with dealers to make sure they sold as much feed as possible and putting on meetings to educate people about the Purina product line. And I also made farm calls and worked with farmers to make sure that they got the most out of their animal nutrition that they possibly could. The thing I probably like the most about being an agricultural educator is the fact that it allows me to have time to do things at home on the farm. Scott and I have about 40 brood cows. They're all registered shorthorns, and that's what we usually spend most of our time in the evenings and on the weekends working with. I enjoy the farm life. I really like the animals. I think they add a lot to my life. I think it's a great place to grow up. It's a great place to raise your kids, and I'm really happy that I'm able to do that. My favorite courses to teach is the animal science course. I really like everything there is about animal science. I like teaching about the management. I like teaching reproduction, the breeds, all the terminology that goes with animal agriculture, and there's a lot. It's probably my favorite course to teach of the entire year. So one of the things I like the best about being an agricultural educator is the fact that it leaves us enough time that we can have farm on the side, Bailey. And we've got about 40 registered shorthorn brood cows, and that takes up most of our time in the evening and on weekends. And then we've also got some hanging tree cow dogs. Bailey's one of them. She's about a year old, and she's ready to start training. And these are work dogs. We use them to herd the cows and move the cows, so we don't have to do any running or chasing of cows or running around on four-wheelers and chasing cows. The dogs do all that work for us. Probably my favorite animal, I don't know, it's really close between beef cattle and this one, would be horses. I like how they smell. I like how they act. They're just a lot of fun to be around. And apparently somehow we've ended up with an abundance of horses at our house, which Scott thinks is a really bad thing. But we do have a few extra that we're not really riding all of them at the same time. But that's probably, like, if I could pick the weekends, what I really wanted to do, it would be to go horseback riding. I'm really glad that my kids are big enough now that they can go with me, and if I work really hard, sometimes I can even get Scott to go with me too. So our horses, though, are pretty low maintenance. They're outside 24/7. They're never stalled, which means I never have to worry about exercising them because they get all the exercise that they need because they're outside. I also don't have to clean stalls because they're outside. They have their own little manure spreader on their back, so I don't have to pick stalls. Stephanie, she's basically Jared's horse. She's a Tennessee walking horse. She's about 16. Pause. Pause, Justice. He's 16. He's a Tennessee walking horse. He's kind of like one of mine. Pause. This is Jessie. She's Palomino, which is what color she is. And she's a 12-year-old quarter horse mare. And this is Scott's mare. She's a halflinger. She's about 12. And this is the mare that Cody learned to ride on. She's a little bit draftier style horse. than the others, and that's because she is a halflinger and they're kind of a workhorse. This here is Buddy. He's a full sister to Cindy. He's 5. He's also a halflinger. Okay, let's go get these other 2. 3. And then we'll quit. This is Banjo. He's kind of the jokester of the whole group. He's a Kentucky mountain horse. He's also a Palomino, which just refers to what color he is. Everybody. He's 8 now. Dora. This is my mare also. She's 13. She's a paint horse. Ooh, she's a paint horse, and that refers to her coloring, which means she's spotted, and she's a quarter horse also. This is Very Nice. She's about 8, and she is a halflinger, which is that stockier build. She's a half sister to those other 2 halflingers. Okay.
Hi, my name is Jared. I was cameraman for my mother's speech. This is my horse. My mother has already introduced her.